Hello, everyone, and welcome to Thelma's podcast. So, today I have two special guests. So, the first one on here, OmoBerry. It is a program, I believe, originally from Nigeria. And my niece found out, luckily, about them as she was looking videos on YouTube. And then I thought, that's interesting. Uh, Animation with black characters. I thought this is fantastic. I need to find out about them. And then we exchanged back and forth messages. I said that I'm trying to inspire my students and young people to achieve their dreams. So this thing that I'm doing is really for young people. And they say, yeah, sure, we'll participate. I was like, oh, this is so amazing. And the second live would be on what would you like to know. So I'm going to be speaking in Portuguese to a legend in the Guinean music. So I'm originally from Guinea-Bissau. I'm Portuguese and Guinean, okay? And I'm going to be speaking to a musician called Mikesh, and he's going to tell us more about his career. But anyway, right now, let's focus on the now, okay? All right, lovely. Let me see. All right. So I'm inviting somebody that works. Let me see. Let me see. Works. Sorry. Does it work? Oh, hello,
Hello.
Agnes.
Hi, Thelma.
Hi, how
Am
are
I saying
you?
your name right? Am I saying your name right, Thelma?
Thelma,
How,
yes, perfect. Your name is Agnes, yeah?
Agnes, how are you? Very nice to meet
Very
you.
nice to meet you too. After all this time talking back and forth,
I
it's
know.
so nice to see a face to the name.
Yeah, thank you for reaching out. Really appreciate it. How are you?
This I'm great. It's my niece. So basically, my niece dad is from Nigeria,
Okay.
and she's only 2 years old, and she was looking at YouTube videos, and
Mm.
she stumbled across
Mm-hmm.
OmoBerry, and I'm like, my sister was like, oh, she said, Thelma, you need to talk to these people. I'm like, they're from Nigeria. I say, okay, if they can, okay, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So my niece is only 2 years old, so thanks to her, I'm with you.
Thanks for having you
I
know
met you.
all about OmoBerry. That's amazing. I love it.
Exactly.
I
So
love
can you
it.
tell us when you started this? So you started a studio, and then you guys came up with this idea of a program for, I think, people from color, black people, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, exactly. So we launched the studio. We created the studio in 2020. And then in February 2021, we launched OmoBerry, which is our first IP. And so OmoBerry is a 3D animated kids show. It's based on YouTube. It's a digital first show. And basically the idea and the plan was just really to create content that children of color, black and brown kids can resonate with. We noticed that there was lots of content out there that spoke to other children, but not our own children. And so that was really the inspiration behind it. I have two kids of my own. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and it was through watching the content that they consumed that I just realized, wow, there's nothing that speaks to African kids or to black kids, and we basically need to make a change. And so that is a very short version of how OmoBerry came about.
So OmoBerry is a program. What are the main characters? Who are the main characters?
Very good question. So there are five main characters in OmoBerry. You have Kunle, who's a boy. You have Bisola, who's a girl, and you have Chiamaka, Kezie, and Unkosi. So these are characters. The first four that I named are based in Nigeria. They are Nigerian kids, Nigerian names. They live here. And then the fifth one is actually a South African character who also lives in Nigeria as well. So we try to make the show as multicultural as possible. As I said, all of the kids, well, the majority of the kids are of African descent, but we recently introduced other characters who weren't from Africa, just because we were seeing that we've basically become a global brand now. And so we have global viewers. We have a large viewership within Asia, within Southeast Asia. So we've introduced some Southeast Asian characters. We've got large viewership in Brazil and South America. So we introduced a young boy from that part of the world. We have a Caucasian girl as well. So just trying to make things as multicultural, but still focused on the African story and the African child. Yeah.
That's so lovely. Because from what my sister said, the family, they're from the Igbo tribe.
Yeah, so
Igbo.
there's a mixture. There's a mixture because Nigeria is like a hotbed of different cultures. There's Igbo, there's Europe, there's Yoruba, there's Hausa, there's so many different cultures within the one nation. And so we wanted to ensure that the characters reflected that as well. So you've got children from the east, you've got children from the southwest, which is the Yoruba side, you've got the northern side, which is the Hausa as well. So basically within Nigeria, there's so many different languages and cultures, even in terms of our food and our language and our clothes. And so we wanted to ensure that all of that was fused into the content as well.
So OmoBerry, as you said, he has been reached to Asia, to Brazil.
Yeah.
What about Africa? Does the whole continent
Yeah,
respond to that? Because it's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, so Africa, of course, you know, we are an authentic African show, even in terms of the people behind the show, in terms of myself and the people who make the show. The majority of our team are based within Nigeria, and we have other team members who work in and around Africa. We've got people in South Africa, Kenya, Uganda, Ghana as well. So we're very much an African team. And in terms of the show itself, as I said, the characters are from Africa. And in terms of our viewers, so we have some very amazing, important viewers in and around Africa as well. Yeah, from all different parts, really, south, east, north, west, of course. So yeah, it's very important to us that no matter how global the show becomes, we still need to ensure that we are touching base with our African roots. So that is very important to OmoBerry as well, yeah.
So would you think one day are you going to launch some products of what you do, like some games, some toys, some dolls?
Yeah. So you're way ahead of us. You should join the team. Yeah. So on our roadmap, we have so we've already started releasing merchandise. So there's OmoBerry like t-shirts and other types of apparel that's available on our site. You can just go to omoberry.com/shop and you'll see the items there. We recently started to explore the world of gaming because, of course, because we're an animated show, gaming is the natural kind of progression to make with the IP because we already have these animated assets available. So we're looking into gaming, we're looking into, like I said, merchandise and consumer products. We also recently released an OmoBerry music album.
Oh.
So we partnered with Apple Music. Yeah, if you go on Spotify and all the other DSPs and type in OmoBerry, OmoBerry, you'll see all of our music there as well. So every OmoBerry episode has an original song. And so that original song we've put within our album. So that's available for parents and families and kids to listen to as they're driving or as they're doing whatever they're doing. They've got that music for them to listen to as well.
That's amazing. My sister had one question to ask.
Oh.
So apparently in some episodes, do you have children that send, I think, the drawing when you sing happy birthday to them? Is it something that you're going to carry doing?
We don't. Well, we haven't yet sung happy birthday to them, but that's a good idea. Thank you. I will note that down. But we do accept artwork and drawings from fans. Yeah. So at the end of each OmoBerry episode, we have like a short ident that has a character just saying, hey, if you enjoyed that episode, etc., etc. And she's holding up a piece of artwork. And so fans can basically send their artwork in. And yeah, and, you know, through a selection process, we will then show that artwork on our shows. But it's worth saying that animation takes a lot of time to create. So for example, if we get the artwork today, you're not going to see it on the episode tomorrow. It will take some weeks to catch up.
That's amazing. Have you always thought when you were younger that you were going to set your own show and have your own studio? Have you ever thought your life gonna take the life it is now? I mean, have you thought about that? Or?
That's an interesting question. I think I've always been into entertainment and media. So I come from a TV production background. I, you know, started out in the UK working across entertainment and music and reality shows for like MTV, Channel 4, BBC, etc. So I was always very into media production and how shows are put together. So I've always had that creative side to me. But animation just came about recently, really. And the whole thing about animation was the whole reason it came about, like I said, was through my own kids.
Oh,
So after working in the UK for a number of years, I always had my eye on Africa. I was always very focused on Africa and what was happening here. So I moved to Lagos in 2013. So Lagos is where I'm originally from. I'm originally from Nigeria, but I had never lived here before. But in 2013, I decided to move here, and I worked across the same type of content in terms of TV production. And then, cut a long story, very long story short, once I got married and had my own kids, as I said, I guess I was introduced to the world of animation and the world of kids content. And it was at that point that I noticed the lack of content that spoke to African and children of African descent, especially in the preschool animated space. Obviously, you have the likes of Cocomelon and Peppa Pig and Paw Patrol and all of that, you know, which is amazing, amazing shows, but it's just good for kids to have options. We're not saying that there shouldn't be a Cocomelon, but there should be an option for parents and families who want their kids to enjoy content that's more culturally diverse. So back to your original question, yeah, it was never really part of the plan, but I feel like I'm a firm believer in God, and I just feel like that was the path that He took me on for a reason.
yeah.
In terms of now creating content for kids, so I feel like it was all part of God's plan, and I'm just here trying to stick to the plan, really. Yeah.
Have you thought one day, and that's me as I'm a language teacher, and the show goes a bit around the world, have you thought of having like subtitles in French,
Yeah, yeah.
Spanish, Portuguese, or?
Say that we're actually looking into dubs now, into French dubs and Portuguese dubs. So watch this space. Hopefully soon there will be OmoBerry Portuguese and OmoBerry French. So yeah, that's definitely, we want the content to be available to as many children across the world as possible, and not just English speaking kids. You know, we want it to be available very much widespread. So we are looking into dubbing as well.
So
Yeah.
sorry to go to your personal life, but you grew up in London. You were in the
I was
UK
born
for a
and
long
raised
time,
in London.
and
Yeah,
then
yeah, born and
you thought, okay, I've got all this knowledge. I'm going to take this back
yeah.
to Nigeria. How did your family react to that decision?
Well, oh, that's a good question. I mean, my mom ensured that we always knew where we were from. So even though I was born and raised in London, I always knew I'm Nigerian, as in that is my ID, that is where I'm from. So it was something that didn't come as too much of a surprise, because you know they were just like, okay, cool, why not, like, go home and see what it's like. I think it was always a case of, like you said, like taking the skill set and what I've learned in the UK and bringing it here. I feel like my family were very supportive of that, because they understood the importance of that and the fact that not that many people do that nowadays. And so, yeah, I mean, they supported that dream or that vision that I had. And like I said, it's paid off. You know, I'm still here 10 years later. I'm, you know, working, you know, doing, I guess you can say, living my dream in terms of creating content, but also doing it with a purpose, and not just creating content for the sake of it, but having a purpose behind it, which is a real blessing. You know, I've got my beautiful family, my husband and 2 kids. And so, yeah, things have worked out really well. God has been very kind to me, to us. So I'm thankful.
That's amazing. And I might be again ahead of what you're doing. Have you thought about books?
Yeah, we have. So we have basically, OmoBerry,
Everything I'm saying is like you got it already.
got it all planned out. OmoBerry, the YouTube show, is like a drop in the ocean of what we want OmoBerry to be. We literally want to create a universe, right? So, like you said, publications, gaming, music, edtech, clothing, like all the areas in which popular brands can expand into is basically what we have planned to do. Of course, that takes money, so that takes time to actually roll out, but we're definitely thinking bigger picture. The fact that OmoBerry has really, I guess you could say, like, touched the hearts of so many different families around the world, it shows that there's space for it. Like, people want to consume more of it. And the great thing about kids, like, I have my own, I don't know if you have, but, or you have kids around you. So kids, they don't just want to consume things on a linear level. Like they want to have the toy, they want to have the book, they want to have the, like, if they have a favorite character, they want that character to be immersed in everything that they do. And so we see the opportunity with that, with it, you know, with OmoBerry. So why not do books? Why not do games? Why not do music? Like, so that's all the different areas that we wish to do, that we plan to do.
That's amazing. I'm asking, well, my daughter, she's 11 now, so she doesn't watch shows like
Yeah.
that. But I'm thinking about my niece because she really got into this and she's so into this. Like, OmoBerry is like a whole world. So I'm
Oh,
thinking, I'm asking all these questions. I'm like, imagine I want to offer things because, to be honest with you, like you said, the merchandise out there, I feel like it's mainly for white people. I don't like to say it like that, but I feel like it is. So when you have this show, and you have touched so many people. And I like that you're thinking of all of this.
yeah.
So whenever all of this ready, can you let us know so that my niece can have those that represent her,
Yeah,
that represent the culture and the background?
absolutely.
So sorry
Yeah.
to ask you this, but you think that's gonna be ready at 5 years time? I'm not participating. I'm not making you rush it anyway, but
No,
just
it's a good question. I appreciate the question. Our plans are for 2024, so next year. We're actually planning pretty soon to start rolling out some products and merchandise. So yeah, it's in the immediate future.
that's a,
How old did you say your niece is?
she's 2.
She's 2.
Yeah, but she's really ahead
Yes.
for a
So
2-year-old.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
already speaking some of the words, some little words, and I like that. I think she calls berry OmoBerry. I don't know what she does it, but that's. I feel like people like that, you know, they when they're into characters that represent them, that's the best way for them to learn, you know, with the characters.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna find. I mean,
Thank you. Thank you. I was going to say, you said her dad is from
that is
Nigeria.
Nigeria,
Her
yeah,
mom
yeah.
is from.
So like me, we are Portuguese Guinean. So this is so
Okay.
amazing that it touches, you know, Portuguese
Yeah,
speaking African continent, which is amazing for us. But yeah, so I think she'll be proud to know, oh, my dad is Nigerian, this show from Nigeria. So she'll feel like this is part of me too, which is so amazing.
I love
So
that.
my final question would be, so if you were to give advice to young people that one day want to create their own program or open their own studio, what would you advise them?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think younger people today, they're very creative and they're very kind of entrepreneurial. They're very good at going out and, you know, doing and getting what they want, which is great. I think that one thing to understand is that it's not so easy, or it's not so wise to always want to do things by yourself. So I would say find a good network of like people to bring whatever it is that you want to bring to life, to bring it to life with, if that makes sense. Like in the startup world, co-founders are very important, like who you decide to start your business with. There are some businesses that, you know, that are one man, one women led, and that's great and that's fine. But it's a lot easier to take on the burden of, you know, bringing something to life if you have other people to support you with. So I would say find a good network, a good circle, whether that's family or friends, or just professional people that you know. But find other people who are just as passionate about what it is that you want to build as you, and join together with them. It's also good that you can tap into other people's skill set as well. So like you may be the creative one, but then you need a business minded person to operate the business side of the business side of the business. So I would say that. I would say be open to feedback as well. So a lot of people believe that we know it all, but nobody knows everything, right? So you can always learn from people. So be open to feedback, be passionate about your craft as well, and always try to upskill yourself. So again, going back to the fact that nobody knows everything, always be willing to learn, always be willing to train, always be willing to go that step further to gain more knowledge. So yeah, I think those are the three things: work with other people, be willing to learn, and I can't remember what my third point was. Be passionate about your craft.
Above
I
and
can't remember the first.
beyond, I think that's what he said, to go above and beyond, you know.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's
exactly.
what,
So yeah,
that's amazing.
feedback, open to feedback as well. Sorry.
Open feedback, yeah. And lastly, I'm sure, I mean, I'm sorry to ask you this, I'm sure you must have faced some setbacks. How did you overcome those setbacks? Let's say you have this great vision and then things didn't work out, what did you do
Mhm.
to overcome these setbacks?
There's no formula to it. You just get back up again. That's the honest truth. Like you suffer a setback, you learn from it, and you get back up again. That's literally it. And so getting back up from it can be, can translate to anything depending on what the situation is. But yeah, it's just understanding that these things are going to come your way. Like nothing's going to be smooth, and also you learn from the ups and downs of whatever it is that is setting you back. So yeah, just stick with it, and also take a break if you need to take some time away. That's cool as well. You don't have to do everything within a set amount of time. So yeah, timing is also important as well, and not judging your progress by other people's timeline as well. So everybody's on their own journey, as we always hear, but it's so true. Like you can't compare yourself to others, so stick with it, but at your own timeline. And yeah, get back up and start again.
Oh, that's so. I like the positivity. I like what you've created,
Thank
uniting
you
people of
so
color
much.
together. I like that you have so many visions. So you don't just, oh, I'm just doing animation. I see you have so much more to give. I feel like you're very, I don't know you, but I feel like you're a very generous person.
Oh,
That you're always willing to give to others what they want. That's amazing. We need more people like you in the world. But I want to say a big thank you for your time. A very big thank you for everything that you're
oh,
doing. And I'm gonna say thank you to my niece with a big cuddle. And one day a little present from whatever you're selling, I'll be buying. I'm already a fan. So please keep up the excellent work. Do not stop. Yeah. Because I'm sure everyone, every other generation gonna enjoy what you're doing right now. So I want to say a big thank you to you.
thank you, Telma. Thank you so much. Please give my love to your niece as well. We always love to hear from
Yeah.
fans. So if you have any photos of her, or even any of her artwork, well, she's 2, right? So I don't
Yeah.
know how, but anything, please do share with us. Yeah, we love hearing about kids that enjoy the content, and families as a whole that enjoy the content. We love that. So thank you for your support. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Thanks for reaching out to have this chat. And yeah, really appreciate
Me
it.
too.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a lovely evening. Yeah. Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.